I just turned 24, you guys, and I have learned so much in this past year of my life. Alongside that, I've been reflecting on everything I achieved at 23 and how it was honestly the best year of my life. If you actually want to see the full breakdown of everything I did at 23, then you can go check my birthday Instagram post. But as it's my birthday, I'm always very reflective, and so I wanted to make this video of 24 lessons I have learned in my 24 years of life. I honestly have so much to say. I think I've grown in so many ways. I am getting closer and closer to the ideal version and the ideal woman that I've always dreamt of being every single day. And so I wanted to share those lessons with you guys because my favorite thing to do is to put you on any of the hurdles or adversities I've had to face so that hopefully you guys can avoid those challenges. And fun fact, I've actually filmed this video once before around the time of my 22nd birthday, which is still available on my YouTube channel for you guys to watch. And I'm just jumping in here really quickly to let you guys know you can check out all of my links below in the description, where you can check out my second channel, which is my vlog channel, where you can actually watch how I celebrated my 24th birthday. That's all documented on my vlog channel and it's out now to watch, along with my Snapchat, where there's a full story highlight where you can see in real time how I spent my birthday, along with all of my other socials, and my book, Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers, which is by far the biggest accomplishment that I achieved at 23, and is definitely what had me feeling so reflective and so grateful as I was approaching my 24th birthday. And also, this video has been brought to you by Squarespace, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this because I've been a huge fan of Squarespace for a while. Essentially, it's this all-in-one website platform which is built for entrepreneurs to be able to stand out and succeed online no matter their expertise. So you could be out here building, growing a super successful brand, and Squarespace possesses all of the tools for you to be able to take that to the next level. But on the other hand, if you are just starting out, you don't know where to start, you don't know what SEO is, email marketing, all these other things that all the other entrepreneurs are talking about, then not to worry because Squarespace has got you covered. They make it easier than ever to be able to create a beautiful, stunning website with a wide array of website templates. And then on top of that, my favorite thing about Squarespace is their blog feature tool, where the second that you are confused about a single thing, Squarespace is out here giving you a step-by-step tutorial on how to master that skill, so you don't have to waste time worrying or stressing, and you can progress to the next step with ease. That includes integrating your social media, setting up appointments with your clients, sending out gorgeous email marketing campaigns with their templates. Not to mention, if you're a content creator like me and you're not too bothered about the traditional e-commerce route and you don't really want to hold any inventory, that's absolutely fine because Squarespace is also making it easy for you to start building extra revenue streams on their platform without actually having to sell any physical products. This means now that you can sell your content, your time, your services in the form of online courses, blogs, videos, and memberships because of the paywall tools that Squarespace provides. So if you're in the process of entering your winter arc, prepping for that 2025 glow up, or if you're about to enter a whole new year of your life and your birthday is coming up like mine is, and you really just want to make sure this next year of your life is just new and improved, then definitely head to squarespace.com to check it out. And whenever you're ready to launch your brand new amazing website, you can head to my personal link, which is down below in the description, squarespace.com/tamkaur, and that will actually give you 10% off your first website or domain. But with that being said, let's jump into all 24 lessons I learned before my 24th birthday. Lesson number 1 is that you do not need hard evidence before justifying the fact that you need to distance yourself from somebody. When I was younger and for so many years, I used to overthink so much about what other people were going to think if I was justified in wanting to essentially cut somebody out of my life. And what I've learned is if somebody is making you question whether they're actually meant for you or whether they actually deserve a place in your life or whether they actually have your best interests at heart, that is enough of a reason for you to feel uncomfortable enough and want to distance yourself from that person. So please stop prioritizing other people's perceptions over your own discomfort and suffering. Lesson number 2. The world is a mirror and everything is a reflection of simply what you choose to believe and perceive. For example, life is not hard. I struggled with my happiness and my mental health for a long period of my life, and I always used to think that life was hard and my life in particular was unfair. Why am I so happy now? Not because those challenges have just disappeared and they're not a problem anymore, but because I transformed my life by choosing to put meanings to adverse experiences that I've had that simply benefit me and my growth and my self-concept. I chose what meaning to put to each of those experiences. For a long time, I made the mistake of just looking at them, seeing that they're bad, and then using that to say that my life is negative or I'm super unlucky. And now I use them as simply inevitable stepping stones to becoming the person that I was always meant to be. Lesson number 3, Confidence has no requirements. It does not require you to look a certain way, have a certain personality trait, act in a certain way, follow the latest trends. Confidence is a choice and it is a mindset. It is exactly the reason why somebody that you think is so beautiful will look in the mirror and feel so deeply insecure about themselves. It is the reason why there are so many conflicting beauty standards. Every single day I get on social media and I see somebody trying to change something about their appearance, and then there are so many comments below that post of people saying, I wish I had that feature. Let's take freckles, for example, or a lip shape, or a skin tone, or a hair color. These so-called insecurities and bad traits that we so wish we can't have and that we think are these obstacles in feeling like the most confident version of ourselves are not true. They are not factual. They are simply taught to us. Somebody has made a comment about us, or we felt like we were rejected, and then we take on other people's limiting beliefs as our own and use them to say, well, we're clearly not good enough, or this needs to be changed. There could be something that you think other people are going to find unattractive about you, and you can still use that same quality to be the thing that gives you more confidence. Essentially, there are no amount of changes you can make that are going to make you confident. While yes, there are some things that we can do to help us feel more confident. I know getting dressed in the morning and putting effort into my appearance definitely helps, but there needs to be that underlying foundation of, I like myself no matter what. External validation is never going to be a priority for me. No matter what other people say, I always put myself first. And if you don't have that foundation, then you can get all of the work done you need to. You can change your wardrobe, you can put on a whole new personality, and you are still going to feel deeply insecure on the inside, because confidence is actually a relationship you have with yourself. And if you don't start to nurture that, there's no amount of changes that is going to give you the confidence you crave. Lesson number 4 is that perfectionism is self-sabotage, and this was a huge one from a recovering perfectionist myself. Not releasing or putting something out into the world or finishing this project that you've always wanted to do because it's not quite right yet is the biggest example of you putting on such harsh expectations of yourself and shooting yourself in the foot in the process. Because why are you telling yourself that you have to be perfect? You have to be rid of flaws. This has to be the best piece of work ever known to mankind for it to be put out into the world and to be labeled as finished. Meanwhile, everybody else out here is getting by on just good enough. They create something, they write a piece of work, and they build up a project and they put it out before it's perfect. They probably know there are still flaws, and guess what? They still succeed. Because one, you are allowed to improve along the way, and in fact, that is probably the best, most efficient way to do it so that you can actually make progress and gain more experience rather than holding on to something and refusing to ever let it see the light of day. And two, perfectionism is an impossible standard and you are going to be chasing it forever. Everybody else gives themselves grace and thinks, you know what, this is good enough. I'm ready for this to be put out into the world. If they can do it, why don't you allow yourself that same grace and that same compassion? Lesson number 5, this is a big one and maybe controversial, but it changed my life. Once you have made progress on your healing journey, don't go backwards on it by accepting friendship from people who have not put in the same amount of inner work that you have. For example, if you are in a healthy relationship with your romantic partner, you cannot befriend somebody who is still accepting below bare minimum standards, who is accepting partners into their life who don't treat them well, or is keeping them in a situationship while you're out here getting princess treatment and getting engaged and getting everything you ever wanted from your partner. Because yes, while the friend is not a bad person and while their adversities and challenges are not deserved, they are simply a little bit behind and they still got a little bit more work to do on themselves and raising their standards and making progress on their journey, it is not your responsibility to do favors for these people and allow them to have access to you. Because when you have somebody like that in your life, it is a one-way road to resentment and jealousy and honestly fakeness. You are never going to be able to have a genuine friendship with somebody like that when you are a physical, living, breathing representation of everything they feel they cannot have. I've learned that the most self-loving thing you can do is to surround yourself with the people that match your vibration and have put in the same amount of work with themselves that you have done for yourself. Because if you can make that much progress and if you are that committed to your growth, don't you also deserve to have people in your life that do the same for themselves? Those kind of high standards in friendship are allowed. Stop making favors for people and then suffering in the process. Lesson number 6, normal and realistic are a facade. Every single person on this planet has a different concept of what normal is to them based on their life experience, based on what's going on in their life right now, based on their self-concept, based on their view of the world. Every single person is gonna have an opinion of it. For that reason, never, ever, ever accept somebody else's definition of what they consider to be realistic or normal unless you are ready to sacrifice your own potential. Because other people out here still have limiting beliefs that they have not worked on and you have, and they are going to stifle where you are gonna be able to go to because they think some things are simply not able to be achieved. Like, let's be real, 100 years ago, if somebody was talking about the concept of an iPhone, don't you think everybody would think that person is absolutely crazy? That's not realistic. That's not gonna happen. Now that we have self-driving cars and Ubers, do you think people a few years back thought that that was gonna be realistic, that that's a normal thing for people to have? Absolutely not. What if you are out here and you are on your road to be a millionaire, to be the CEO of your dream company, to live in your dream penthouse in your dream city, and you are surrounded by people who simply haven't met themselves in that place yet, of their manifestation, of their self-concept, of their motivation and confidence to be able to achieve their dreams? They are simply going to get in the way of you achieving yours. Whole time you are on the path to achieving those things. Lesson number 7 is say yes and then think about it later. Now, take this with a pinch of salt because by no means does this apply to every single situation, but this has helped me go so much further when it comes to my career and my growth and especially my confidence. A lot of the time, you are going to be given choices to make and opportunities to take. And when you allow yourself to think and dwell and consider all of the options and essentially overthink, a lot of the time you are gonna get in the way of yourself and self-sabotage yourself from getting opportunities that are gonna do massive things for your growth and evolution simply because you are scared, simply because you have overthought every single possible scenario and especially every single thing that could possibly go wrong. If when you are given an opportunity and you instantly know this is probably gonna benefit my skill set or my mindset or where I'm gonna go or my networking possibilities, instantly yes, worry about it later. You have to commit to going or doing the thing immediately. Otherwise, all these worries about what if this happens, what if no one talks to me is gonna stop you from doing the things you need to do for your growth. If it benefits you and your future, the answer is always yes, no matter the feeling. You're always gonna have the feeling, you're always gonna have the fear. That is human and that is normal. Every single person has it. Having the fear and having the nerves simply means you have never been in that place before. So of course you're gonna be uncomfortable. Of course your brain cannot predict what the outcome is gonna be, and that is all the more reason to go ahead and do it. Lesson number 8 is that the right people are always right around the corner. This year, I have made the most amazing friends without even trying, without even looking. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm saying that to prove that it's true. When people say the right people that will just love you and choose you, the people that you have wished for your whole life, they're there, they're waiting for you. If you have had bad dating experiences in the past, bad friendship experiences in the past, do not allow that to trick you into thinking that that is what your life is now. Because you still have the rest of your life to change those circumstances and to bring better relationships into your life. There are people out there that are so aligned for you and that are so meant for you and that are just waiting to cross paths with you. It could happen today, tomorrow, next week, in a year, but believe it. Lesson number 9, if you don't become your dream self now, you never will. The ideal, perfect future version of yourself that you always think about, that you're like, I'm gonna be her and I can't wait. Yeah, she is nothing without you right now. Matter of fact, the ideal version of yourself can't even get to be the ideal version of themselves without you making the choices you are making today. Every single choice, decision, action, habit, thought you have is creating them every single second as we speak. Meaning, unless you start making dream self decisions today, it simply cannot come true. And this does not have to be scary. It's honestly down to just communicating better, making a better decision that exhibits growth from when you were last in that situation, maybe last year, picking up a new hobby or a habit, creating a better routine, being more disciplined with the things that you used to skimp and lack on. Lesson number 10, also a big one, romantic relationships are not the prize. Your wedding day is not the best day of your life. I know that that's gonna sound hella controversial, especially from a girl in a very happy, healthy, loving relationship. But I have always been the biggest believer that yes, your wedding day is going to be magical and it's going to be amazing. And yes, it's something to look forward to. It's not the best day of your life. I actually argue that every other regular, normal day of your life is the best day of your life. The days that you get to solo date or spend time with yourself or grow or have new experiences, whether it be with yourself, your family, your friends, or your romantic partner. I love love, but I don't love it to the point that I think every single day we should be aspiring to it and chasing it and wanting it in our lives. I am the biggest believer that the right love will always come to you. It will always find you when you are least expecting it. It will always find you when you are never looking for it. Every single time in my life when I was looking for love and chasing it, which let me tell you was many times, always led to me being in really bad, unhealthy relationships and going through breakup after breakup. This relationship that I'm in, where we live together in this apartment, we've been together for years, and it's the healthiest, most princess treatment relationship I've ever been in. He found me when I was on my self-love year. I was not looking for it. In fact, I was pouring into myself more than I ever was. And every other person I know where that relationship is just so beautiful and amazing and abundant, same kind of story with them. And for that reason, please, let's stop obsessing and consuming ourselves with the fact that we're single or we haven't been on a date in a while, because it truly doesn't matter and there is so much more to life. I wish I realized that earlier. Lesson number 11. Having a plan B is simply you preparing yourself for failure. Once again, take it with a pinch of salt, but I am speaking from personal experience. If you have a dream, if you have a mission, a passion to do something, why are you wasting time that could be spent getting further to achieving the dream or achieving the goal by preparing for when you are going to inevitably fail? Not having a plan B and going all in on plan A is something called burning the boats. It's when you don't have a safety plan. It's when you know, if I want this to happen, why would I ever have another plan of another reality when that's not what I actually want? I owe it to myself to go all in on plan A. And that is exactly what I did. I did it when I was not financially independent. I did it when I was living in a city I didn't like. I did it when I was living with my family and I had no graduate job opportunities and all I ever wanted to do was social media, and I had not grown on social media in 3 years. Barely anybody was watching my video, but I thought, F it. I'm not gonna apply to the jobs. If I know this is what I wanna do, I'm gonna put everything into it. And it was working at it tirelessly every single day and pouring my all into it because I know I had nothing to fall back on that got me to where I am today, which is it being my full-time job and finally being able to do what I've always wanted to do. Lesson number 12 was definitely a big one this year, and this is the fact that your health and fitness is not a chore. It is the very core component of living a happy and fulfilling life. I have never been a gym girly. To this day, I'm still not a gym girly, but yeah, if you follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, then you'll see that I go all the time still. Because I moved away from, it's not about having the right body type or looking good or losing weight or toning up. Exercising, moving your body, eating the right foods literally hacks your happy hormones. It literally releases and boosts your serotonin and dopamine, which are the very chemicals that humans need to be able to be our happiest versions yet. We always overcomplicate. How can I be happy? How can I be joyful? How can I live a good life? And it's literally by doing those things. You need to go outside and go on a walk and get some fresh air to be a fully functioning human being. It's as simple as that. And so now I wake up and I'm not like, oh, I don't want to exercise because it's probably the right thing that I'm supposed to do as an adult. No, I want to do it. I want to give myself the best shot I have at living today and being as happy as I possibly can be. I want to make sure that my body doesn't fall into a slump. I want to give it all of the nutrients that it needs and the movement that it needs and the fresh air that it needs to thrive. Lesson number 13, sometimes you gotta take a really hard look at yourself to see that you're actually just standing in your own way. I'm talking about the way that you perceive things, the way that you respond to things, the fact that maybe you give up on things too quickly. That's on you. We can find 1,000,001 reasons to blame everything outside of us, when in actuality, if we just have a little bit of self-awareness, if we just look really hard in the mirror, we can see, actually, I should change my mindset on this. Actually, I should choose to look at this in a different way. Actually, I should try at this again, because while it's hard right now, I need to take accountability and responsibility for my own life to be able to create the dream life that I've actually always wanted. Your biggest strength in this life is going to be your confidence in being able to address yourself and your faults and then work on them. If you can't do that, you're never going to be able to improve and grow. Lesson number 14, stop hating on the past version of yourself and the past mistakes you've made. Otherwise, the love you have for yourself will always be limited. You cannot hate the experiences that made you who you are today, no matter how cringy or weird or embarrassing you might think they are when you look back on them. Be gracious and compassionate for all the mistakes and all of the weird situations that you used to be in, because you were human and that's normal. And in fact, that's inevitable and it's supposed to happen. It is so mean to look back and think, I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I made the mistake, or I was so stupid back then. Everybody does the same thing. Why are you not allowed to make any mistakes? We are not born knowing anything about ourselves or the world. We are learning a little bit more every single day, and still we don't even have half of the facts on what we're supposed to do. And yet you're not allowed to do some trial and error, when in actuality, with every mistake you made, you grow and you learn more about yourself and the next steps to take and be better educated on how to live your life. That's so unfair. You need to appreciate every single step you've taken, good or bad, because that's the reason why you are where you are right now. If you like something that you have in your life right now, then you need to show thanks to every single previous version of yourself, because it was the choices they made and the journey they went on, which is the very reason as to why you are where you are right now. Lesson 15, bad times mean something good is coming. There has never been a bad thing that was sent your way simply just to break you down. Because with every bad thing, with every challenge, every adversity, every obstacle comes the growth, comes the learning, comes the glow up, the evolution, the never looking back, never making those same mistakes that you used to make, having higher standards. You learn so much about yourself. Be grateful for the bad things, because with every single challenge, you should be able to acknowledge, I'm about to get smarter, I'm about to get wiser, I might even have a glow up, but this is going to teach me something that is going to help me elevate to the next step of my life. There is no growing without the hard times. Lesson number 16. Outgrowing people and having relationships in your life simply for a short time period or a season is all a part of the journey. So please stop taking it personally and using it as a way to identify everything that you lack or everything that's wrong with you. It's very healthy to dislike others, and it's very healthy to be disliked back, because that's when you find the people that are meant for you. And if you keep clinging to people that are very much not supposed to be in your life anymore, just for the sake of time or history, or not wanting people to judge you or perceive you negatively for cutting somebody off or distancing yourself, you are sabotaging your own growth and the way that your life is supposed to unfold. Sometimes things are supposed to come to an end. It doesn't mean it has to end in hatred or negativity necessarily, but you got to do what's best for you. And it's only by closing a certain door and a certain chapter that you can be led to the next one. And if you keep sinking your claws in something that you have outgrown and that you've completed fully and gotten everything that you possibly could get out of it, you are never going to get new abundant things. You have to just let things run their course. And time and history mean absolutely nothing unless they actually add something to your life. 17. Every single person on this planet, everyone you have ever met, they are all going through something. They all have their demons, they all have their battles, they all have some inner work to do, and they all have something they're insecure of. Absolute 100% fact. Even the people that are growing and that are self-aware and that are on their healing journey, they still have their weaknesses and they still have their biases and they still have things that they are not 100% sure about or confident about. For that reason, no one is more valid or smarter or better opinionated at you living your life than you are. Why? Because we are all the same. We all have the same challenges. We all have the same pitfalls. We might not all be in the same place. Sure, some people might be further on their journey, but we all deal with the same things. We're all triggered by things. We all have traumas. For that reason, what would ever make somebody valid enough or strong enough or correct enough that when they insult you, all of a sudden it's the truth, and now it's something that you're supposed to internalize? It's simply a reflection of what they're going through. That's it. Nobody is ever going to have a better, more valid opinion of you than you. No one can ever be on a pedestal above you as well. For that reason that we're all the same, and that includes your parents. Lesson number 18. You need to figure out who you are, and not only that, but make very specific, conscious decisions about who you want to be, and then be that. If you don't, you are going to believe it when other people try to make claims about who you are and what you are capable of. Unless you have the clearest, most specific, detailed, personal identity and self-concept, you are going to believe it every single time when somebody tries to knock you down or insult you or tell you what you should and should not do. And that is the most dangerous thing, because then all of a sudden everybody outside of you is running your life. And I promise you, when people try to run your life, it is only ever for their own benefit. Because if somebody truly has your best interests at heart, they're going to let you make the mistakes and they're going to let you find your own way, and they'll give you some advice, but they are never going to try and take control or tell you what you should and should not do. If people are ever doing that, it's for their own best interest. It is because of their own judgments and their own opinions and their own unhealed parts. You need to decide your standards for every relationship in your life, so then you don't find yourself tolerating things simply out of confusion from what you actually wanted because you never took the time to decide what that was. 19. Missing people does not mean that they are supposed to be back in your life. It is simply your way of mourning, of processing the emotions, of your brain and your heart trying to move on. It's just a regular part of being a human with the full spectrum of emotions. It does not mean that now you need to make a different decision or a different choice, or that you made a mistake because you were simply missing somebody. You are simply looking back at your past. Everybody does that. That's very much allowed for you to do that. Just because you are watching back memories in your head doesn't mean that undoes the reason as to why somebody is no longer in your life and now all of a sudden they should be back. Because we always have flashbacks in the day. We are always looking back on things that are honestly irrelevant and that we constantly forget about. But all of a sudden, if it's about a person, now we think maybe I should reach back out to them. Absolutely not. You are simply reflecting on past experiences in your life, and that does not equate to you now making decisions based on those past experiences on how to live the rest of your life. Lesson 20. Everything boils down to energy. People try to tell us we're not good enough, we need to fix this, we need to look a different way, act a different way, talk a different way. No. Everything that you will receive is simply a reflection of what you are an energetic match for. And I'll give you an example. Back when I was in university, I was looking for relationships. I loved male validation. And for that reason, I had so many guys coming in and out of my life or talking to me and giving me bare minimum standards or just being super unhealthy. I was in toxic relationships. My DMs were filled with guys trying to slide in or talk to me or get my attention. My Instagram insights were actually like 90% men were following me. If you look now, it's 90% women. How the hell in a few years has that completely flipped and changed? Because I'm no longer an energetic match for that. The second that I started prioritizing myself, putting myself first, focusing on my self-love, that then influenced what I wanted to do, what I wanted to talk about. All of a sudden now my content was catered to women, and then I found more women gravitating towards me, not only in my life and my friendships, but also in my online audience as well, because we were vibrating in the same place. We had a similar mindset, we had a similar energetic match. Same goes for when you are rejected from opportunities. You are simply not a match for that. It's not about you not being smart enough or not ready enough. It's simply about your energy taking you to where you are actually supposed to go. Lesson 21, also a bit controversial. Keep doing the thing that everybody judges you for. That's where the magic is. And that's where the self-love lies. Whether it's the fact that you dress super extra everywhere you go, whether it's the fact that you are so loud and talkative and a yapper girl, whether it's the fact that you post videos online, or that you're super confident and very much into your appearance and people hate you for it, F it. If that is what you are being called out to do, if that is what your natural instincts and urges are, then that's you, that's your authenticity. And you owe it to yourself to pour even more into that, because while you pouring more into it and focusing more on it and being even louder in your expression of the thing that a lot of people dislike will push them away, it will bring the right people forward. And it will have you vibrating at such a high energy where you're finally confident and you're finally being true to yourself, that then everything else in your life very much starts to align. Lesson 22. Someone being nice and polite and like a good time does not entitle them to a place in your life or access to you. Especially friendship. And I learned this the hard way because I feel like friendship standards are just not normalized. When we are trying to decide if somebody deserves a place in our life, I want you to start looking at their lifestyle, what their values are, their mindset, where are they at their healing journey? Most importantly, where are they at with their self-esteem? Because confidence and insecurity, especially lack of confidence, will ruin a lot of things. And if you can do yourself the favor of working on yourself to make sure you're not projecting on other people, then you deserve the same. If somebody is just nice and polite and they don't really offer much more, let them be an acquaintance and leave it at that so you can finally protect your peace. Lesson number 23 is definitely something I did throughout my 23rd year of life. Set huge goals, even if technically, logically, it's like unlikely to achieve because of the time frame you're setting and it's like so huge and so big. One, because you need to get used to falling short and failing, not because that's where you're going and that's where you're headed, but because once you start getting comfortable with the fact that you fail and you know how to pick yourself up from that, there is so much strength and resilience in that is going to serve you so well. But also number two, the higher that you strive, even when you fall short, you are still miles ahead of where you would have been if you just set the realistic goal. And even if it's a super scary, large goal, don't let the fear of failure hold you back from setting it, because people fail at things all the time. Why are you not allowed to fail? And also, if you've told yourself, I am gonna do this in the year of 2024 or 2025, the end of the year comes, you haven't done it, guess what? You still have the entire rest of your life to achieve the thing. So it doesn't even matter, it's not even a big deal. What I'm trying to say is stop letting the fear of not coming through for yourself or not achieving something in a certain way hold you back, because it's really not the end of the world. And what if you do it? What if you do achieve it? And then you never would have if you didn't set yourself that time frame and that goal. And if you don't, then now you have even more experience because you set it way back when on, okay, these are all the mistakes I made up until now. This is why I don't have it. Now I know how to adjust my strategies, so then I do get it. It's a win-win. And finally, my 24th lesson that I have learned now that I have turned 24 years old. And here it is. To live the bestest life possible, you need to pay attention to what's in here and here. That's it. It really is as simple as that. In here, yeah, that has the best possible answers for you. It has everything you're ever gonna need to know. And not only information on your emotions and how to regulate them, but also on your gut feelings, and then your self-awareness and your intuition and your natural instincts and what's actually right for you. I will always say it. While self-improvement content is great and I'm an avid consumer of it and I love putting it out because I know the effect it can have on people, remember that at the end of the day, the best life coach for you is yourself. You are your own best mentor. Because nobody knows your life, nobody knows yourself, and nobody knows your mind and everything that goes on in here and all of your feelings in here like you do. Because you need as much information about a person that you possibly can to be able to guide them in the right direction. Who is ever gonna beat yourself on that? And I want you to remember that the next time that you feel a little bit lost, or the next time that people are telling you to do something that you know inside here isn't really the right thing. Start trusting in yourself, because you're gonna get yourself to where you need to be, I promise you. And that brings us to the end of this video. I can't believe I'm 24 years old. It's starting to sound a little bit serious, but having said that, I'm just so grateful. I can't wait to see what this year brings. I literally just turned 24 2 days ago. By the time you guys are watching it, it would have been a week. But yeah, by the time you guys are watching this, I'll be posting the full birthday vlog of my 2 days of celebrations on the Sunday. So 2 days from when you're watching this. So be sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, where you can keep up with my daily life. And I just can't wait to see what is gonna happen this year. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below. Let me know which number lesson that resonated with you the most, that you liked, that maybe you're going to be putting into action, because I would love to know. And I'll definitely be responding to as many comments as possible. That's all for now. I'll see you same time next week for a brand new video. Bye.